quite complex. It is a broad concept that we should contextualize before we say entrepreneurs are not represented in this conference. I saw them. We noted their contributions and inputs in this conference. So this notion that says entrepreneurs are not represented, we should arrest it. It is not true. Program Director of the session and the Premier, as well as delegates in this conference, our collective presence here as leaders in government, the business sector, traditional leaders, civil society, government employees, and so forth, bears testament not only to the importance of advancing mining in the Northwest, but also towards a holistic provincial development trajectory. Indeed, we believe such development will continue to be anchored on mining across the mining corridor constituted by the provinces of the Northwest, the Limpopo, as well as the Northern Cape. Hence, as the government in South Africa, we have declared these three provinces as the mining belt of South Africa, since they do have minerals of the future that needs to be explored, that needs to be exploited. So we call upon all of you, the investors, to come and invest in South Africa, in particular in the exploration activities in these three provinces. Undoubtedly, we are all united by the common purpose to grow the mining and energy sector in order to meet the various development aspirations of our people. When we are here, we are not representing ourselves, but we are representing the people on the ground. But what we need to take into cognizance is that these people, they are not fighting for ideas that we have in our brains, but they are fighting for material benefit. In our approach and implementation plans that we, from time to time, come up with in our various sectors, we need to take that into cognizance, because our communities will always complain. They will always fight. They will always raise concerns if we are not doing what they expect from us. They can't be spectators in their own development. They want to play a meaningful role. In our approach, we need to make sure that indeed we take that into cognizance, obviously working with the government, the private sector, the entrepreneurs on the ground, as well as the mining companies and traditional authorities in our areas. I just want to maybe reflect a little bit on some of the strides that we have made as the government since our conference that took place last year, because I had some of the delegates in this conference indicating that there was no reflection on the resolutions of the previous conference. One issue that was raised was around the exploration. We just want to report to this conference that the exploration strategy was gazetted. The second issue that was a concern was around artisan and small-scale mining. We now have a policy. The third issue was around access to finances by junior miners. We have a clear junior mining program, and 500 billion for exploration has been set aside. Another critical matter that was raised is around illegal mining, of which we are making strides. since there is a joint operation on the ground that is trying to address this issue. The other aspect that I think we need also to speak on is partnership and collaboration, as well as clear entry point by the miners when they come to mine in our communities. Fortunately, after Kgoshi spoke, I learned that there is a model that we can as well adopt in our areas, where Masikwe Investment, a woman-led mining company who is a junior miner, has actually mastered the art of working very well with the traditional authorities in our areas. A round of applause for Masikwe Investment. Because the conference is Mining and Energy Investment Conference, I'm going again to indicate before the conference that we have already made strides on issues of energy, but unfortunately the company that I'm going to raise is not from Northwest. But when we measure our performance, we don't narrow it down to the Northwest province. We look at our performance and interventions nationally. In the energy space, again, we're making strides. Hence, we are aware that the energy and mining space is more male and white dominated. In terms of our transformation agenda, we are doing very well. Last year, we handed over a project which is owned by WASA, 100% black-owned, 80% women-owned emerging player in the petroleum industry. Bapha bafazi bathula. Igama lamakhosikazi. So what I want to indicate is that we shouldn't expect to see DG Mbele doing the groundwork in terms of transforming the sector. We work jointly with our entities that we have in the mining space. There is African Exploration, Mining Finance Corporation, there is Council for Geosciences and Mintech. They are doing a lot of work on the ground on behalf of the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. Whatever that you see them doing, you must know that it is done by the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. There is a notion that says, all of us were born genius, but we resign ourselves to be mediocre. You know why? Because we end up shrinking ourselves. We don't want to go out there and look for opportunities. Our government is there. There are a lot of opportunities. We've created a conducive environment for the new entries to come and tap the opportunities that we have in the sector. Let's use that opportunity as much as we could. We can't be complaining every time when the government is trying by all means to reach out to us and educate us and workshop us and unpack all the opportunities that we have. As noted by the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Ntate Gwede Mantashe, the challenge of poverty in South Africa is a structural legacy problem and not limited to the Northwest province. We need to work together, the mining, to the extent that it becomes a driving force to extricate us as a country out of disparate and often race and gender skewed economic marginalization. Amongst areas of cooperation must be between big and emerging companies, with examples made on outsourcing, and this not as a favor, but as a mutual economic development interest. For me, delegate and program director of the session, it was heartening to hear that Samanco of 5.3 million megaton chrome produced by their company, 4.8 million megaton is beneficiated locally. We are also making strides in localization and beneficiation as the government, because it is our position. Hence, we felt that if we don't commercialize, if we don't beneficiate, if we don't localize, we are exporting jobs and exporting revenues to other countries. This constitutes 90% of local beneficiation at this operation. This is at the center of doing away with the P2Port scenario that is prevalent in the structures of the mining sector in South Africa. Surely we can take you from this as we unroll the beneficiation strategy, and it is through beneficiation that we can massify job creation in the mining value chain. The background noise is disturbing. I hear myself when I speak. In our solution-oriented approach in this conference, we have seen how emerging miners can raise capital from the financial markets, such as the JSE, how we can accelerate beneficiation through the SEZ, and what small-scale mining supports avail. As I conclude, Program Director and delegates, I trust that we will take steps further into achieving our overall objectives of what needs to be practically done to attract mining and energy investment in the province. Because this is not going to be a talk show. We want tangible results. We want to see the output. When we come back, we must be able to report how many junior miners have we created in this province, how many women mining companies that we have within the province. In this regard, a program director, I'm going to then report on the focus emanating out of this conference going forward. Some of the highlights of this conference that we are going to mention are as follows. We then agreed in principle that the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy must establish a portal for junior miners to accelerate or to access information on the requirements with regard to accessing funding and related support. In this conference, again, it has been overemphasized that there should be no competition amongst the three provinces, which are a mining belt, the Northwest, the Limpopo, and the Northern Cape. The department and the province should work together to quantify foreign and local investments. We then said we should promote and make sure that there is cooperation between big and emerging companies to accelerate transformation of the mining sector with a focus on women and youth. But we need to report that we are doing strides in terms of transforming the sector and ensure that there is inclusive of women. Currently, we are sitting at 72,000 women in the mining sector. And in this province, we launched a program called Women Diggers Program. We do have a word strategy that we adopted as the department in trying to address the issues around the exclusion of women in the sector. We are also trying by all means to organize more women to enter into the mining and energy space. Because without women, there is no revolution. We need to push this revolution of ensuring that there is inclusive participation in the mining and energy space. Thank you so much for having me. I declare the conference adjourned.
Thank you very much, DM. The DM has declared the conference adjourned. As a program director, it is only me now who can officially, honorable MECs, to close the session. But before I close, I would like to thank everybody for giving me this opportunity, to give me such a respect, for making sure that I drive this big car, the machine ya ko mine, le di bitsang kana, le di bitsang di TLB. DM, I was driving the TLB today, and I'm happy that I managed to drive the TLB. So I want to thank everybody to respect me to that. And I don't have any announcement in front of me. Why is the smaller lady, you guys slender, on Zengare director, because we also have our smaller yana skeleton at the back. So I want that up, yeah. Because I don't, I can't tima batho dijo, rona re tima ni mo Northwest akere. So thank you very much, DM, and thank you so much for giving direction. I think we all agree with the resolutions that you have already outlined, and I think this is something that officials will make sure that we work according to the frameworks.